Well, we are back now. Another episode of the London Years. The last episode was a little break to tell you guys about my battle against the bloody little bedbugs. Finally, I won, but it took me forever. Forever. But yeah, I don't want to come back to that now. I want to continue from the episode before that one. So it was like around September 2005. I was still working in the big royal parks in central London for the deck chairs company, and I was living still with the Brazilians. One of them even got a job interview for me because I knew the park deck chairs were a seasonal job. They don't do in winter, obviously. Too cold to open chairs in the parks and charge people just to sit on them. So yeah, by September or so, I was worried, and I got an interview for cover staff, a catering company, working all in London, I think, but especially central London. So yeah, at the same time I was finishing with the deck chairs. Sometimes in the same day, I work in two different places in the deck chairs during the day until now the days were becoming shorter, I think. So in the night time, if I could, I work with a catering company. Sometimes they have jobs, I don't know, in Hilton Hotel, for example, breakfast service or a lunch service or a kind of a party there, or Imperial College, London. Normally waiter jobs, but sometimes could be also kitchen porters or just in the glass collection point, stuff like that. I remember a glass collector in a casino by Edward Road, yeah, where I used to live. But yeah, things like that. In one of these jobs, actually, I had the idea for my next job, the third one, but I will come back to that in another video. But yeah, then at some point, I had enough. The Brazilians were nice people, cool, to have a drink in the kitchen and stuff, or to go to play football in Hyde Park. But then I wanted more privacy, I wanted to rest properly at home when I need it, and with them, sharing rooms different times, and it was crazy, man, to rest properly. So I kept in touch with Martin, a guy, one of the first guys I met in London, I think in the video number 2, maybe, in this series, I talk about him. And we kept in touch, and I told him about that I was having enough and I wanted to move to a quiet place, and I didn't care too much about living in central London anymore, It's okay to work in central London, but you don't need to live there, If you already have a job, it's enough to pay your travel card. So yeah, Martin, Czech guy, told me that he was living in Leyton, Baker's Arms, which is East London, and I moved there. We were, how many? A couple downstairs, a single room upstairs, a very little tiny room, and then 2 double rooms. So 5 upstairs, 2 downstairs, 7, but in a quite big house with a big living room and garden. So yeah, first I was sharing, and then when the guy in the little single room upstairs moved back to his country, I think, then I moved. Finally, I had again a room for myself, a very cheap one. So I actually got some pictures. I didn't have a camera on my phone. It was a very bad Nokia phone, so I bought a cheap digital camera in one of the cash converters shops. So yeah, I can show you guys. See if I can make myself smaller. Something like this, I think. Here we are. So this is sharing the room with Martin. Was one of the beds to the right, the other one in the left. I think he had his own TV. Maybe he found it, if I remember well, he found the TV in the neighbor's rubbish, I think. The TV sometimes you could find a lot of stuff checking, just going for a walk and check what the neighbors get rid of, and sometimes they were good things that actually work, like this TV is already working. So let's go to the next picture. Here Martin moved to Birmingham because he had a driving license, I think, and he found a job there for some reason. And then the guy in the single room, I had another flatmate for a while, and then the guy in the single room moved back to his country. So this is my single room actually. I had a TV, Martin gave it to me. So yeah, had a single room with a TV there. See more pictures. That's the view from my room. The one in the left is our garden. The one to the right, the neighbor's garden in Leyton, Baker's Arms. My room again, my bed and a tiny desk, but it was enough for me for studying, because at some point they suggested me that just talking to people were not gonna be enough if I really wanted to improve my English language skills. It was better if I actually do a course to get some official diploma, and to learn the language, and learning a bit more about grammar and stuff. So I was studying officially ESOL, English for students of other language. I was living in Leyton, Baker's Arms, and the school was in Tottenham, I think. So just walking to the Walthamstow station or taking the bus, just a few bus stops, and then the Victoria line from Walthamstow Central to Victoria, only 3 stations in underground, and I had the school there, which I started, I don't remember, maybe October 2005, something like that. That's nice. The living room, the couple downstairs were cool guys, they kept everything very tidy. The kitchen at the back, the little backyard from the kitchen window with a nice pub table there. massive London map in my room. That's me. I changed. I changed a bit. I wish now I had more hair like back then, but wow, it was almost 20 years ago. The TV was working, I think, in a Simpsons episode. Yeah. My Bayern Munich hat on top of the TV because I visited. I think I told you guys in my first video it was my favorite city, and I was considering seriously to move there, but just because English is easier than German, that was the main reason I chose London. That's me sitting in my desk. Oh, and that was my first birthday in London, 2005, so it was my 31st birthday. So some of the flatmates made a present for me, Pamela Anderson. That's not my guitar, it's one of my housemates' guitar. What else we got here? Some congratulations cards. Yeah, this guy, the guy on the right, was from Slovakia, I think, with his girlfriend there. And the other guy I don't remember very well, maybe Slovenia. It was the first time and maybe the only time we got drunk in that house. That's the couple there. Drinking whiskey and beer, eating a cheesecake and sandwich. Okay, that was a nice home birthday with just the people who lived there. The cake, destroying a beer. Yes. Cool. Look how happy I am there. There, yeah, we went to the local Tesco for more drinks, I think. We were in the mood. That happened when you only work and you don't have too much fun. So yeah. I used to party a lot before in Malaga. But in London, just going out when you can, it wasn't the same. But better times were about to come, and a lot of gigs there. So we are still just in the beginning, just it was a bit like surviving the day and not thinking too much in long term, just surviving. That's the Tesco entrance, I think. And who the hell knows what kind of music we had, because I was the only one into proper metal there. Ozzy Osbourne t-shirt with Pamela. Oh God. Doing some abs with the Foster as motivation too, Okay, and this was another day going out by Central London, maybe Oxford Street, the Underground, maybe Victoria Line, I guess. Yeah, it didn't happen very often, but from time to time we went for a few beers, and that's Camden Town. Remember, we are still in 2005. Having some shitty street food in Camden. Tottenham Court Road, Dominion Theatre, they did that We Will Rock You thing for I don't know how many years. Not too much quality, the pictures, but because it was just a cheap camera in a second-hand shop that I found randomly. It's very dark, London, central London at night. I guess still the same, and very, very dark. Piccadilly Circus, that's the St. John TDK thing. Piccadilly again. For Trafalgar Square, but you hardly can see anything. They should put more lights. Mayor of London. I guess still Trafalgar Square, but they're very, very hard to see anything. Now, yeah. At least they put some lights in the Big Ben. That's a runabout. And that's inside the Intrepid Fox in Wardour Street. I told you about that in episode 2 in this series. If you want to check this video, the London Years episode 2, so I talk about how I end up in that pub in my first day in London. So I took some of my flatmates there, even if they were not into metal, but they were having a good time. They were good, nice guys. Cool. Intrepid Fox. On our way back on the bus, I guess, with the Slovakian couple again, wearing a leather trousers, I think, actually. Oh, and another night out by Finsbury, by the Arsenal Stadium, when they play in the old stadium. It was around the corner of a station called Arsenal, actually. Yeah, here it is. Yeah, with an Arsenal scarf. It was my first days there, so I didn't hear too much about West Ham. Eventually I would become a West Ham supporter a bit later on. But yeah. Camden, me at home again. And that's it, that's another place, that's not London, but that's the last picture. So let's come back. Yeah, it was still the beginning. So Leyton, Baker's Arms, I survived the beginning of that winter, thank you to that cover staff job, that catering job. It was not too much money, but enough to survive, because the deck chairs were not, they closed the business from November to February. So I survived the winter thanks to the jobs for the catering company. But it wouldn't be too long until I changed job again for a more stable job. So I will tell you about in the next video. But yeah, and about that college, that the come back to studies to improve English this time for good. So more than 20 minutes, so enough by now. So see you in the next video.